Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, where we are bringing you the grand finals of Dreamhack Winter between our red Zerg in the top left hand corner, Startale Life, and our blue Terran player LiquidTaeja in the bottom left hand corner of the map. It is game 5 in this best of 7 series. We are actually 2 games each, so it's dead even. Both these players with an equal chance at taking away $30,000, and what a way to complete 2013. So both these players just have been excellently matched in this tournament, both progressing through the various group stages very well, and Life momentarily knocked down to the losers bracket, but able to fight his way back into this grand finals. And what a series it's been, just absolutely back and forward between these two players. We've had some short games and some longer games, and some interesting games, and some games packed with shenanigans. So it's just been a great game. If you've missed those earlier games, they are all on the channel. Please, by all means, go back, take a look at those videos, and hope you enjoy them. But game number 5, we'll see what these players have in store for us. One would almost be able to draw the conclusion that the shorter the game is, the more likely Life is to win it. Life having done very well in both the shorter games that we've seen in the series, and Taeja having done very well in both games that made it through to the later stages. So perhaps we can draw a conclusion there, or some people might think that was just the games that were played. So we will see if that's the case again in game number 5, and we'll see what strategies these two players elect to go for. Life electing to grab his hatchery before spawning pool, also grabbing his gas quite quickly. And I have a feeling this will be to grab the fast Zergling speed. We saw Zergling speed much quicker in the previous games than in some of the earlier games on this series, and it was quite beneficial for Life. He was able to get map control, which isn't something he's had in previous games in this series. So we'll see how Life chooses to respond, but I do have the feeling he will go for quite a quick Zergling speed upgrade. And we do in fact see him mining that gas already. Taeja grabbing his fairly traditional Reaper, and that'll move out and scout out. Based on the rally points, he'll have correctly deducted by this Overlord that Life is in fact directly above him, spawning on Whirlwind. So Whirlwind as a map, quite interesting, has been the battleground for a number of our longer macro games over the history of Aussie Starcraft. It is of course fairly large, quite easy for players to hide a base if they so desire that, or just expand until both players have 5 or 6 bases in late game. So of course not still mining, but 5 or 6 bases nonetheless. So quite a lot of resources on the map, and quite a large map to actually have to maneuver around and fight over. A nice micro from Life, gonna try and prevent these units from dying, able to chase that Reaper back and preserve that poor drone on 3 health. Second drone's going to cancel, just tried to form a geyser to save itself, and we have Life doing his best to ensure that he doesn't take too much damage from this early Reaper harass. We see that Zergling speed's halfway completed now, so it will be completed momentarily. Life actually with 2 Reapers this time, probably looking to replicate some of the success from the earlier game in the series, when he did in fact get 2 Reapers out on the field, was able to do quite a bit of damage, as well as get all the scouting intel he needed. So Taeja cutting it pretty fine. Poor Reaper escaping with 2 health there, and Life now sneaking his Zerglings out for a bit of a scout, probably hoping to try and cut in behind these Reapers if at all possible. Taeja's finished up his own expansion and has now begun producing his Hellions, but by the time these Hellions make it to the field, we will have Zergling speed actually completed for Life. So how much damage these Hellions will be able to do will be the question of the day. Life actually managing to sneak 3 of his Zerglings up, but the Reapers are still here, ready to defend. Life choosing to be a pest though, might actually snipe this SCV, and indeed he does get that SCV that's constructing the supply depot, and that will actually be a bit of a pest for Taeja, as he is on 36 supply. It won't quite supply block him, and Taeja will finish that up with another SCV. So being a little bit of a pest where possible, but that is the name of the harass game. Hellions 5 and 6 are on the way. Third base now coming up for Life. So Life obviously deciding that the macro thing worked for him in game number 4, and it's just going for the same balls to the wall economy that we saw there, and we can see he's quite heavily saturating both his main base and his expansion, and third base will have this drone wave ready to mine there. So creep spread also very good, like in game number 4. And Life obviously trying to bring out all those same recipes for success here in game number 5. We see these Hellions and Reapers moving out, but this time Taeja being a little bit more careful, leaving a few at home. We did see quite a nice run by in game 4. That did give Life a considerable advantage in that game, so actually able to pick off one of the queens there. That's certainly a nice pickup for Taeja, as Life busily tries to get mining going. These Hellions are actually swinging around with the Reapers. They could do a little bit of damage here. Life can see them coming with his Overlords. Nice positioning there. Not going to be taken by surprise at all. Early evolution chambers are on the way again, and we'll see how Life chooses to utilise those. We saw them use great effect. We actually had 2-2 upgrades before the 14-minute mark in our previous game, which is quite quick given the pace that's been had in some of the previous games of the series. Going to one-shot that poor creep tumor and delay Life's creep spread just a little bit. The Queen's going to move up, try and keep that creep back. It's a real pain trying to get creep onto the high ground without vision, so don't want that creep to recede too far. And Life just carefully trying to just defend his borders while he continues to macro up. Already almost fully saturated, or optimally saturated third base now. Taeja grabbing a third of his own, grabbing a few mules down here. The Terran force in the middle of the map just doing its best to ensure that there's no sneaky run-bys. Actually got a Baneling nest coming down, and Taeja's spotted that, as well as the upgrades on the way. And so it looks like both our players will just continue to joust back and forth in the middle of the map. Zerglings and Hellions just doing their little dances, trying to ensure that both the players are able to macro up fairly safely behind it. They have combat shields on the way, as well as 1-1 for Taeja. 1-1 almost finished up for Life. And both players just comfortably macro out. Macro hatch coming down for Life as well as the 4th base. So Life just absolutely steaming ahead now, and we'll see how he's able to put this economy to use in game number 5. He's got a substantial economic edge, 72 harvesters to 60, though there are always Terran mules to even it up considerably. As you can see there, they were both hovering at about 2,000, but another sneaky run by from these Zerglings going to make it straight into Life's worker line on the third, not Life's, into Taeja's worker line on the third base, and they're able to do quite a bit of damage there. So Life just consistently being pressed, even getting a few Zerglings into the main. So the Zergling, the lightning quick SCV is able to zap the Zergling at the top of the line. What a hero! I mean, job description only includes harvesting minerals and gas, but you know, always willing to go the extra mile and drill a Zergling straight in the face. So that's a pretty hardcore SCV. But I see Taeja trying to use the edge of the map to great effect. Hiding most of his units on the low ground makes it very hard for the Zerglings to surround effectively, and as the Zerg player tries to close with the Terran player, he can use things like the Hellions to great effect. And you see these Hellions just frying so many Zerglings and Banelings. If they are getting surrounded here, if they're not careful, they will get picked off, and most of the Hellions have gone down, actually grabbing a Queen as well for the effort. So Taeja nicely executed there, and if we look at the units lost tab, is actually double what the Terran player has lost. So Taeja able to just execute this push very nicely. Life trying to get some Zerglings and Banelings in to clean this up, or just able to snipe the Banelings before they connect, and that's horrible news for Life, as Taeja's able to just continue to muscle in on this 4th base. So Taeja just fantastic timing here, using the Medivacs to raise and lower his unit, so these Banelings just can't get as an effective a connection. And just as you think Life can even up this series, Taeja just flips the God mode switch and just goes into crazy marine mode, plows straight through the 4th base, and is pushing right on Life's natural. And who would have expected to push this effective this early on, particularly when Taeja was so on the back foot last game. Life just seemed like he had the early aggression just completely done and dusted, but these Widow Mines finding their mark, Queens continuing to die. 2-2 almost finished up for life, and that'll be certainly an edge he needs, but these Mutalisks are trying to shoot Marines, and that's never the cost efficiency you want. 3 Mutalisks on the map, 6 more to come. A few reinforcements here are going to be enough to push the Zerg back into their base. Another Overlord being sniped there is actually going to supply block life, and that's a potentially bad rally point there from the Mutalisk being rallied to the other group of Mutas. The Overlord unfortunately walking out and supply blocking life at a most inopportune moment. I don't know about you guys, but I play Protoss, and I find 99% of the time when I'm supply blocked, it's actually when I've thought, gee, warping in some units behind enemy lines would be a great idea, and I'm supply blocked and the timing's completely wasted. But, obviously these players are quite a lot better than me, but still seeing them get supply block from time to time does give a little bit of comfort to the rest of us mere mortals. Nice counterattack from life is going to mop up some of these reinforcements. Got to be careful not to aggro onto that bunker. It will allow most of the Zerglings to get mopped up quite quickly. Life trying to pick away these SCVs as quickly as possible, but the Marines are going to help them clean up. And Taeja's actually content to bypass the Zerg force in the middle of the map. He's going for gold. He knows the third base is the soft spot and really wants to be in a position to threaten this. A lot of Widow Mines here though are going to make life quite difficult for life, make it quite difficult, life quite difficult for life. See, punning when I'm not even trying. Take that man to the penitentiary. Alright, that was horrible. I promise I'll stop there, guys. Anyway, making things quite difficult for life as he tries to push the third base. And actually going to pull back. So Taeja obviously a little bit worried that his Marine count isn't high enough to push here. Actually, I'm burrowing his Widow Mine. So, oh, Taeja, tricky Taeja, trying to double prong attack this third base, and trying to group up his forces so that it's not mopped up. As a problem Taeja had last game was allowing life to swing around and mop up his army. So obviously doesn't want to be spread too thinly. Having seen the fourth base re-established, Taeja doing his best to get these forces together. Oh, nice Baneling connection's going to get rid of most of the Marines, and Taeja though, the Marauder there, tanking a lot of the damage, allowing these Marines to continue to push forward. There's just not quite enough Marines here. More reinforcements are on the way, streaming quite steadily as Taeja plays back and forward on the edge of the creep. It's just daring life to come off the creep and try and engage, but life just darting back and forward, ready to spring his trap if Taeja should engage just too deeply onto the creep. Able to swing around as well if need be, but a few Widow Mines behind are going to be able to clean any of those attempts up, but life can't know that. Actually going to chase back onto these Widow Mines. These Widow Mines getting some nice connections there. They're doing a little bit of friendly fire as well, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of the medevacs actually exploding there. Taeja continuing to muscle up. We have a Thor here. Thor's going to do massive damage to the Mutalisk. Got to make sure it's actually shooting the Mutalisk though, and not these little Zerglings. Zerglings trying to take down the Thor so the Mutalisk can continue to run rampant. And Taeja actually picking up the Thor over and over, ensure these Zerglings won't be able to take it out. Keep it alive just long enough for more Marines to make it through, and life GG's out of the game as Taeja's able to break his back with that insane push. It will give Taeja a 3-2 lead in the series. What a game out of both our players, but just insanity from Taeja with that push. The micro there, saving that Thor over and over. Just fantastic play there. You saw him just making every unit go the extra mile. If you look at the units lost, 20,000 to 12,000. So life went balls to the wall with the economy, but the meat grinder of LiquidTaeja just wearing its way through. So just a great example of how great micro can be. And what you can accomplish with it. Taeja you should go back and watch that. Check out the cost efficiency as Taeja just saved unit after unit, kept these units in play for as long as possible, and was able to just break life's back. So just fantastic game number 5. Taeja now within 1 game of sealing off. So best of 7 series, first 1 to 4 games does win. Taeja is on 3 games now. So next game will be match point for Taeja. Can life wrestle it back as he has hitherto done, or will Taeja be able to run away with the win and $30,000? Find out in our next game, guys, here on Aussie StarCraft. Hope you're enjoying them. We'll see you in game number 6. Thanks, guys.